And what's up, everybody? I'm back with another video, and today I kind of wanted to do a cool little story video um, about an experience that I would would like to forget. Actually, is what I'm trying to say. It was a pretty dumb idea on my part, and I definitely faced the consequences of my actions quite quickly with this one. So bear with me. Um, it's a little gross, so just know that going in. But this is the time I combined two things that probably shouldn't have been combined and paid the price for them. So, backstory to this. Sorry, let me clear my throat 'cause it's early in the morning here. But anyway, it was about, I want to say, mid-August when this happened. So a few months ago, when I was doing a little bit of a summer stint with work, and right around that time, I wasn't actually working this day. Um, but this was back when Taco Bell was doing their free Doritos Locos Taco Tuesday promotion because they won they won a court case over the trademark of Taco Tuesday. And to celebrate, they decided to give out free Doritos Locos Tacos every Tuesday for 4 consecutive Tuesdays. Which is great because I love Taco Tuesdays and I love free food. Now, 3 out of those 4 Tuesdays that fell on between mid-August and September, early September, I worked 3 out of those 4 Tuesdays. So it was easy just to go to Taco Bell on the way home and get it. This happened on the one Tuesday I did not work. So I actually almost forgot about getting the taco, but I didn't miss my opportunity. It was literally pretty surprising how simple it was just to go, to get it. All you had to do was just walk in, place the order, and you're good. It really didn't, no rewards thing, no online specific thing. You don't have to actually buy anything, which is pretty surprising for me. I didn't know that was going to be the case, but it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta go get my free taco for the week. So, I get my car keys and I drive over to Taco Bell and get my taco, and, everything seems fine. I drive back home and, chomp down on my taco, and it's just as good as any other Doritos Locos taco. They vary in quality. Sometimes you get a good one, tastes really good elements to it. Sometimes you get one that falls apart because it's too greasy. It's Taco Bell, though. You get what you paid for. In this case, it's free. This is a detail that I don't think really means much to the story, but I'm going to say it anyways, just in case anybody out there maybe can connect the dots. This one had some very thick pieces of lettuce in it. And when I mean thick pieces of lettuce, they were about that thick. And that's pretty thick for a piece of lettuce, especially when you're putting it in a taco shell. And because of that, it tastes a little more watery, not as strong. It definitely tasted a little funky. I don't know if that was just because of the lettuce or whatnot. It didn't taste any different otherwise. It definitely, it's Taco Bell, so it's not going to be the most high quality thing on the planet. But I'd eaten many Doritos Locos Tacos by this point. This was the second week of the promotion, so I was fine with the first one. I'm like, okay, we'll be fine with this one. Shortly after finishing my taco, I decided that I was still hungry, so I wanted something sweet to go along with it. So I decided to make myself some ice cream. Thinking nothing about the taco I had just ingested, I chomped down on some, not chomped down, but I indulged myself in some ice cream on a nice summer night, as anyone would. And then shortly after that, I went to bed because I had to be up in the morning. I was going to hang out with my good friend, LikunMiffery. We were going to go do some game shopping. We were going to go return bottles, make some money, and overall just have a fun day hanging out. So I was really excited to do that, especially, maybe one of the last times we could do it before school was starting up in a few weeks. So I went to bed, no problem whatsoever. Getting to bed, and I fell asleep like normal. And then this is where the problems begin to arise. However, So about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up in some of the most severe stomach pain that I have ever been in. And I've been in some pretty severe stomach pain over the years. But this one was definitely like stronger than ones I had been a part of before. It was so bad. My stomach was just reeling. I tried everything. I tried changing my sleeping position. I tried just power through it and trying to fall back asleep because it was 4 o'clock in the morning. Nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked. I just could not fall back asleep. The pain was just too much to endure. So immediately I tried to connect the dots as to why this was happening, and it came to the realization that maybe it had something to do with the taco and the ice cream not settling well together. So I thought, all right, let's get this issue out of me before it becomes worse. So I go to the bathroom. And contrary to what Taco Bell does to most people, it made me constipated. And that was not good because it meant the problem was just going to stay inside of me for longer amounts of time, which was, again, not great. Not great at all. So that sucked. So I just, nothing was working. And I even tried to throw up. That wasn't working either. So I just went back to bed. And I actually communicated in the Discord. This was about 4 o'clock in the morning that night. Asking just a Pringleson PSA. Do not eat tacos and ice cream together. And I'm going to say that for everybody out there right now, too. Pringleson PSA, do not do that. It is not good. Your stomach will not like it. And this is the part where I think maybe the iceberg lettuce had a little bit something to do with it. But I don't know. You guys can think about that in the comment section down below. Anyway, it was getting bad. I was laying awake in bed for like 2 hours, not being able to fall back asleep. I was in very, very severe pain. And I thought, you know what, I knew what it was by this point. I had come to the realization at least of what the problem was. So I thought, okay, I'm going to wait till 6 a.m. and I'm going to get in my car and go to Kroger and get some Pepto Bismol. But before 6 a.m. arrived, I fell back asleep. I don't know how I did it. All I remember is waking up about 8:30-ish in the morning. And just like, oh, I fell asleep. And the pain was still there, but much more subsided. It was a lot more manageable. And I thought, great. This is the end of it. It's going to be okay. We're going to have my fun day. Everything's just going to be okay. And we'll, work through the rest of it. Much more manageable pain at this point. So I went downstairs and I had some donut holes for breakfast and then got ready for my day. And I quickly realized, and we come to a quick realization that the donut holes were probably not a great idea. I probably shouldn't have eaten anything. Had I not eaten those, I bet this story wouldn't have been so worthwhile to try out for a video. But anyways, I went and picked up LikunMiffery and we went to Kroger to return some bottles. And by this point, the pain was starting to get really bad again. Becoming almost unbearable, I should say, again. But we did our return bottles, and then we got our money, and we walked around Kroger for a little bit. And, but I was coming to this point, I bit the bullet, and I said, going to get Pepto Bismol. So I went to the pharmacy section of the store, and realized that Pepto Bismol costs almost $10 a bottle. So I decided to get the Kroger brand, which was about $6 less. And I was like, okay, cool. It cost me about $2 for a bottle. It's like, okay, paid for it with my bottle money and got some extra cash to go with it, and then went to the car. And immediately, and then Lycus follows behind me, and then immediately, I figure out how to take this stuff. I've never had Pepto Bismol before this. I never needed it, and I didn't know how it was going to taste. All I knew was it can help your stomach, relieve your stomach. Let's do it. So, I take a cap full of it as instructed on the bottle, And I gotta say, Pepto-Bismol doesn't taste good. If you've ever had Pepto-Bismol, it doesn't taste good. As it really doesn't need to taste good. But the immediate feeling of it going down into my stomach almost completely killed the pain. And it felt really good for a split second before the pain returned. And I knew it was going to take a while to kick in. And I just didn't feel like comfortable like driving, and just kind of sat in the parking lot while things were like it was trying to take control of itself. But instead of the pain going down, it only got worse. And it was getting, ooh, yeah. All right. It was getting bad. It was getting really bad. So I knew I was in an emergency situation. Either I was going to lose it all on the parking lot, or I could go home and try and take care of it there. So I took the second option, beeline my way home, a 5-minute drive, and then we got home, rushed, busted through the door, literally just ran through the door, didn't even grab anything out of the car, just grabbed the keys and went through the door, turned the corner, go to the bathroom, and it all came out. So apparently what had happened is my stomach had a very volatile reaction to the Pepto-Bismol and said, you're putting way too much random shit in here. This has got to stop. And it made me pay the price for it. Sorry. And I don't like doing that. I don't like throwing up. And it was bad because I lost my breakfast and I lost Pepto-Bismol. It was supposed to help me. And it was bad. It was just bad. But I thought, maybe now it'll finally be over. It's finally out of me. Maybe it'll finally be over. No. It didn't get any better. So I waited a little bit, then took a second dose of Pepto-Bismol. And then finally just tried to wait it out. Just like, okay, there's nothing in here anymore. Just try to wait it out. And poor Lycus at this whole time, he was in for such big plans, and we only got to do a little bit of it, and he's just sitting there on his phone the whole time like a trooper, just, trying to wait this out, so that wondering what's going to go on with me. Whether we're going to continue our plans, or he's going to go home, or what's going to happen. And I'm sitting here absolutely miserable. My stomach has never felt this bad in my life. I could just not think about anything else. Eventually, my stomach got good enough where I was like, okay, we're just going to call it a day. I'm going to take you home, and just going to have to call it a day, sadly. And I did take him home. And right after I got back home from taking Lycus home, my stomach felt better. That was annoying. But we decided to call it off because it was still a little nauseous, and just decided to take it easy the rest of the day. I skipped lunch, kind of just hung out the rest of the day, and then but it seemingly had the Pepto-Bismol had finally done its job. We went out to dinner later that night, and I was super hungry, and I downed a massive meal. It stayed down. Nothing happened after that. I didn't need to take any more Pepto-Bismol. Stomach felt fine. So good. And that seemingly was the end of the story. And actually it was the end of this story. My advice again, do not eat a Doritos Locos Taco and ice cream together. And if you don't eat just and if you do, don't eat anything. Go on like a full day diet. Don't eat anything. Take Pepto-Bismol. Hopefully it'll calm your stomach down. And just don't do what I did. That's what I gotta say. So, and my overall review of Pepto-Bismol as well, it is not as effective as I thought it was going to be. It was kind of a disappointment. The fact that it made me do the opposite of what it was supposed to do on the first dose was a bit of a letdown. But it didn't really cost me any money because I used bottle return money on it, so there you go. But it was still kind of a disappointment, so. Hope you guys take my advice, and I hope you guys are a little bit more careful than little old me.